Holli Henry here with Speedway 360. I've got Nathan DeRagon. Now, he's only 18 years old. Am I correct on that?
Yes, sir.
And
my bad.
You're fine. And I like to think of him as a little bit of a racing prodigy. I've been following his career for a while, and he's done some amazing stuff. So tell me, Nathan, how old were you when you got started, and what class were you in?
I was 6, started at Verona Speedway, which you're very familiar with. You guys race over there as well. I started in the mini dwarfs, which is something that they brought over here at Cocopah. Did that for about 3 or 4 years. I think I won like 2 championships in that, had a little bit of fun, then moved up to the junior sprint cars. Did that until I was about, I think it was 13. And then after that, we started moving up to the full-size cars.
You've had some success in the full-size cars as well. I know you've ran a couple different classes. For those of you at home that don't know, this is what happens when your child starts racing at a young age and does our mini dwarfs and our junior sprints. And this is the evolution of what happens when our junior drivers move into the adult classes. Is Nathan kicks butt out there. He gets in those cars. And I know you've run a couple different classes. Tell me what class you're running tonight.
Right now we're doing the IMC Hobby Stock. It's actually the first night on the car. We just finished it a few weeks ago. Been building it for about a year and a half. So very excited to do that. Had a lot of people help me out, and we've been excited to run IMCA for a while. You know, have a set rule book, go run a lot more tracks than a local rule package. You know, we were running Paris before when I still lived out in California, and we had a car that was legal for there, but we couldn't go to 4 other tracks that were within like 3 hours of us because everyone has different rules. But running that right now, super excited about that, and can't wait to see how we do.
Yeah, the IMCA is, I'm obviously a big fan of it for the reasons you just said. It's a standard rules. You can race anywhere in the country. So if you've got the time, the money, and the energy to go do it, you can literally go to tracks all across the country and run the IMCA. I know when I was talking to my buddy Jimmy Robinson, the IMCA hobby stocks, you guys are pretty limited on rules. So it's really a driver class. Like, you really have to get in there and wheel the thing. And I know you do a lot of the work on the car yourself. You build and gear, and you've been doing that since you were super young. What has been your biggest aha moment with this class and your biggest challenge?
Challenges, the list is miles long. I mean, you always got some. You know, you're always learning though. But I always try to take that on a positive note. You know, you face a challenge, you overcome it, you learn from it, and you know, down the road, you know, you face the same problem again. You're like, you know what, I've had this before. We've done it. We've accomplished it. Can do it again. An aha moment, I haven't really had much of those. You know, it's just been, for me, it's just been hands-on and learn as much as I can and do as much as I can. That way, you know, you don't get any tough spots. But there's a lot of things, like you said, the setup isn't very much on these things. I mean, we can change springs and shocks and tire pressure, and that's about it. You know, we can't add any weight or do anything. But, you know, I try to do as much as I can and learn as much as I can from everyone.
Yeah, I know when I was talking to Jimmy about the ballast weight, and you can't put lead anywhere, you can't move, can't really move it to the left or the right. You don't have a whole lot of leeway there. As far as suspension, what's been the biggest change for you on that? Because like I said, this class fascinates me. I'm like, oh my gosh, you can play around so much on the mods. As far as the suspension, is there anything there that was just like, okay, I think I can do this? Because you did do Paris, obviously, so it can't be too far off. But what was that, moment like for that, the suspension?
The suspension, I mean, like I said, there's not really too much we can change. You know, you have to run stock suspension for the most part. We can run tubular upper A-arms, which is different than the cars I ran over at Paris. But the only thing I did really different on this one compared to my other cars, I switched a shock brand. You know, I was a QA1 guy for a long time, switched to AFCOs, heard a lot of good things about them. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that goes. And then once I start, I've got a base set up right now. Once I kind of figure out what I like, I'll probably go find a shock builder, you know, help me out a little, fine tune it a little more. Because that's, you can buy, you know, the valvings and everything out of the book, but going to someone who actually knows what they're doing makes a big difference. So we just got a base start right now, and once we find something we'll like, we'll go in depth a little more.
And then I know the seat time's a big thing, and I know, obviously I know you, and I know that, you're great at communicating where you need to add or take away as far as compression and rebound. So once you get in this thing and you feel what you got, I know you can communicate that great to any valver. So that'll be interesting. I'm going to follow up with you on that because I love that stuff. As far as I know, your mom's been super involved in your racing career. Who's really been there and helped keep pushing you and making sure that you stay in cars? Because I know nothing could stop you if you don't have a car going or you're working on a car. You never stop. You're always looking for that next race, and I admire that so much. And it's such a big part of our culture and racing. So, tell me who's really been there and been behind you this whole time.
We've had a lot of people over the years, but there's definitely those people that stick with you for the long haul. But one of my main supporters has been Hodads. This is my 13th or 14th year racing, and they've been with me since the very beginning. You know, and every year, every time I go to them, you know, they're always cool. You know, always pushing me. You know, asking, you know, what we're doing next, how we can do better, go bigger. And he's always super cool. They've been very supportive. I went to him about like a year ago when we started building this car and told him we were going to be making a switch, start racing Arizona and everything. He's like, you know what, whatever you need, let me know. We got you. You know, so it's always great to have. My mom, she's always been very involved as well. You know, she's whatever I need, you know, take the truck, do this, you know, she'll go do stuff for me. So I'm very appreciative of that. And someone that's really changed my program the past couple of years has been Brandon Painter at Painter Boat Motorsports. It was about like 5 years ago. I found myself in a tough spot, lost the help I had, and was still only like 13 at the time, so didn't really know where to go from that. And he was a person that I only met a few times, but he was always one of those guys, like, if you ever need anything, let me know. And gave him a phone call one day. I'm like, I'm in a tight spot. If you can help me out, man, I'd appreciate it. And 5 years later, he continues to do more than I can ever repay him for. So I'm very thankful for all them.
That's awesome. And for those of you that don't know, Hodad's down in San Diego. They've got a line around the block. They make a great sandwich. So when you're in town, you got to check that out.
The line is no joke.
Yeah,
it is around the block. Sometimes it goes around for about 2, but it's definitely worth the wait. Yeah.
It's an experience. You got to try it for sure. And that's so awesome that they stayed, you know, on board coming out to Arizona. And as you know, I love connecting the California and Arizona, I call it Calazona, market, because we all race together. And I know Brandon, you know, myself, and I've talked to your mom a couple times. I may or may not have tried to kidnap you for the Arizona Mod Tour, and I'm gonna I might try that again. I might kidnap him, but it's been cool to watch you race, and it's awesome that those people have been behind you. Do you have any words of inspiration or motivation for those junior drivers that are in a junior dwarf or in a junior sprint?
I mean, obviously, it sounds kind of cliche, but obviously, you know, don't ever give up. If you want to keep going, yeah, there's been times that I thought, you know, it's like it just wasn't meant to be anymore, and you got to keep going. You got to find ways and pursue paths that you haven't done before. You know, you're not going to get any further if you keep doing what you've been doing. You know, you got to go find new paths, new ways to get things done. And the big thing for me that I was always told from a young age is learn from everyone you can. You know, everyone's going to tell you stuff. You know, sometimes it might not be stuff you want to hear. Sometimes it could be wrong information. I mean, you got to kind of sort that out and find your way. But learn from everyone you can. You know, you never want to act like a know-it-all. I've been doing this like 13 years, and there's still the simplest of stuff nowadays that I learn all the time. So learn something every day. Just always keep pushing yourself to be better. Set goals. That's a big thing for me. I'm a big goal setter. You know, it helps you check the box and continue to move forward. But just do the best you can. Always learn has been the big thing for me.
Yeah, that's huge. You know, I get the pleasure of interviewing drivers that have been doing it, you know, for almost 65 years, and they'll be like, you know, I didn't realize you could have greased it like that, and I'm like, wow, like it's simple little things, but you know, it's really cool to watch everyone's careers grow and blossom, and I love your story because, like I said, you're the evolution of our junior drivers going into the big cars and actually doing really well, and I know you'll do whatever it takes to get that part for your car, or you know, find a way to make it happen. So that's super inspirational, and that's why I picked you. That's why I might kidnap you, but it's been so cool to interview you, and I'm so glad you're out here at Cocopah with us. I'm Holli Henry with Speedway 360, and this is my buddy Nathan DeRagon. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I always love doing this. A lot of people are shy from the camera. I'm like, you know what, radio, TV, like whatever it is. Gets you, yeah. You know, it promotes yourself, promotes the people that help you. You know, it shows that they are actually contributing to something cool. So I always love doing this stuff.
Yeah, and I love having you on, and it promotes our sport, which is super important, and it connects us to the rest of the country, because there's a dirt track out there right now that's doing exactly what we do. The weather's not as nice, just so everybody's clear on that. but it connects all of us together with our fans, our sponsors, and our family. I'm Holli Henry with Speedway 360. You could catch us on Cocopah TV on YouTube. You can also catch us on the Cocopah Speedway page on Facebook. Thanks, guys.